A comet is heading toward the sun right now. Comet Atlas. And it's behaving strangely. In the past few weeks, it suddenly became 600 times brighter, visible to the naked eye. Some astronomers think it might fragment. Others say it could become one of the brightest comets in decades. On January 13th, 2025, it reaches Perihelion, the closest point to the sun. This is what's actually happening with Comet Atlas. Comet C/2024 G3 was discovered on April 5, 2024, by the Atlas Survey System in Hawaii. ATLAS stands for Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. It's an automated telescope network designed to detect near-Earth objects. When first spotted, ATLAS was extremely faint. Magnitude 19.5. That's about 100,000 times dimmer than what the human eye can see. It was located beyond Mars's orbit, roughly 350 million kilometers from the Sun. Initial calculations showed something interesting. The comet's orbit is nearly parabolic. This means it's probably making its first journey through the inner solar system. It spent billions of years in the Oort Cloud, a sphere of icy objects surrounding the solar system. Something, possibly a passing star's gravity, nudged it toward the sun. Astronomers calculated its perihelion date, January 13th, 2025. At that point, it would pass just 13.5 million kilometers from the sun's surface. That's extremely close. For comparison, Earth is 150 million kilometers away. Atlas will get more than 10 times closer than we are. 4 months after discovery, Atlas remained faint. Only large telescopes could see it. Astronomers tracked it, but didn't expect anything spectacular. Then in late October 2024, something changed. The comet suddenly brightened. In just 2 weeks, it jumped from magnitude 12 to magnitude 7. That's a 100-fold increase in brightness. By mid-November, it reached magnitude 6, barely visible to the naked eye under dark skies. By early December 2024, Atlas hit magnitude 4, easily visible without telescopes. Amateur astronomers around the world began photographing it. Images showed a bright greenish coma and a developing tail. This rapid brightening surprised astronomers. Most comets brighten gradually as they approach the sun. Heat from the sun vaporizes ice on the comet's surface. This releases gas and dust, creating the coma and tail. But Atlas brightened much faster than models predicted. Dr. Chuanji Yi, an astronomer at the University of Maryland, published observations in December. He noted that Atlas was showing an outburst, a sudden release of material beyond normal activity. This happens when subsurface ice suddenly gets exposed, or when a portion of the nucleus fractures. The question became, is this comet going to fragment, or will it survive perihelion and become even brighter? Comet breakup is common, especially for first-time visitors. These comets have never experienced the sun's heat before. A comet is essentially a dirty snowball. Ice, dust, rock, and frozen gases held together by weak gravity. When a comet approaches the sun, solar radiation heats the surface. Ice turns directly into gas without melting. This process is called sublimation. The gas creates pressure inside the comet. If the nucleus has weak spots or cracks, the pressure can cause it to split. Once fragmentation starts, fresh ice is exposed. This causes more sublimation, more pressure, more cracking, a cascade effect. History provides examples. Comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 broke into 21 fragments before hitting Jupiter in 1994. Comet Linear fragmented in 2000. Comet ISON broke apart in 2013 when it passed too close to the sun. It vaporized completely. Atlas faces similar risks. It's a first-time visitor approaching extremely close to the sun. The temperature at perihelion will exceed 2,000 degrees Celsius. The nucleus is estimated to be only a few kilometers across. Small comets are more fragile than large ones. Some astronomers give Atlas a 50-50 chance of surviving perihelion intact. If it fragments, it could create a spectacular debris field. Multiple pieces, each with its own tail, visible for weeks. or it could disintegrate completely like ISON. Atlas's trajectory raised another question. Is it related to the Kreutz Sungrazer family? Kreutz Sungrazers are a group of comets that pass extremely close to the Sun. They all follow similar orbits. Scientists believe they're fragments of a single giant comet that broke apart centuries ago, possibly the Great Comet of 1106. The SOHO spacecraft has detected more than 4,000 Kreutz Sungrazers since 1995. Most are small. They vaporize when they reach perihelion, but occasionally a larger fragment survives. Initial orbital calculations suggested Atlas might be a Kreutz Sungrazer. The perihelion distance matched. The orbit angle was similar, but further analysis in November 2024 showed differences. Dr. Matthew Knight from the U.S. Naval Academy compared Atlas's orbit to known Kreutz parameters. He found the inclination was slightly off. The argument of perihelion didn't match exactly. Atlas is close to being a Kreutz member, but not definitively part of the family. This matters because Kreutz comets typically don't survive. If Atlas is a true Kreutz member, fragmentation is almost guaranteed. If it's an independent comet, its chances improve slightly, but only slightly. January 13th, 2025. Perihelion Day. Here's what Atlas will experience. At closest approach, the comet passes 13.5 million kilometers from the Sun's surface. That's inside the orbit of Mercury. The temperature on the Sun-facing side reaches approximately 2,500 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt most metals. Solar radiation intensity is extreme, about 800 times stronger than what Earth receives. This causes rapid sublimation. Thousands of tons of ice per second turn into gas. The coma expands dramatically. The tail can stretch millions of kilometers. The comet's velocity peaks at perihelion. Atlas will be traveling at roughly 290 kilometers per second. That's over 1 million kilometers per hour. This speed creates additional stress on the nucleus. Tidal forces from the Sun's gravity try to stretch it. If Atlas survives the first few hours after perihelion, its chances improve significantly. The worst heating occurs in a narrow window around closest approach. If the nucleus holds together through that period, it will begin moving away from the Sun. Temperature drops. Stress decreases. The comet survives. But if it fragments, the pieces separate quickly. Each fragment develops its own coma. From Earth, this creates a spectacular sight. Multiple bright objects with separate tails. This happened with Comet 73P/Schwarzmann-Watchman in 2006. It broke into more than 60 pieces. For observers on Earth, timing is critical. Atlas is currently visible in the pre-dawn sky. In early January 2025, before perihelion, Atlas is visible low on the eastern horizon about an hour before sunrise. You need a dark sky away from city lights. Binoculars help, but if it stays bright, naked eye viewing is possible. The comet appears in the constellation Ophiuchus. Look southeast. It rises about 90 minutes before the Sun. You have a narrow viewing window before dawn brightens the sky. As January 13th approaches, Atlas gets closer to the Sun in our sky. This makes viewing harder. The Sun's glare becomes overwhelming. From January 10th to 16th, Atlas is effectively invisible from Earth. Too close to the Sun, but spacecraft can observe it. The Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, SOHO, will track Atlas through perihelion. SOHO has a coronagraph that blocks the Sun's direct light. This allows it to see objects extremely close to the Sun. Real-time images will be available online. After perihelion, if Atlas survives, it becomes visible in the evening sky. Mid to late January. Low on the western horizon, just after sunset. If it brightened further at perihelion, it could be spectacular. Magnitude 2 or brighter. Easily visible from suburban areas. Southern Hemisphere observers get the best view. Atlas appears higher above the horizon there. Less atmospheric interference. Astronomers have modeled 3 possible outcomes. Each depends on the comet's structural integrity. Scenario 1. Complete disintegration. Atlas breaks apart completely at perihelion. Like Comet ISON in 2013, the nucleus fragments into dust. No large pieces survive. The dust continues along the orbit, creating a diffuse cloud. Visible for a few days, then fades. Probability, 30%. Scenario 2. Partial fragmentation. The comet breaks into several large fragments. Each piece survives and continues independently. Multiple tails visible from Earth. This creates the most spectacular display. The fragments gradually separate over weeks. Eventually, they fade as they move away from the Sun. Probability, 40%. Scenario 3. Survival. The nucleus holds together. It emerges from perihelion intact. The closed pass superheats the surface. Massive amounts of gas and dust release. Atlas becomes extremely bright, potentially magnitude 1 or brighter. One of the brightest comets in years. Visible for weeks in evening sky. Probability, 30%. Dr. Carl Badams from the Naval Research Laboratory monitors sun-grazing comets. He stated in December 2024 that Atlas's behavior suggests it's structurally more solid than ISON was. This improves survival odds. But perihelion is the ultimate test. Regardless of outcome, Atlas provides valuable scientific data. First-time comets tell us about the early solar system. Comets are time capsules. They formed 4.6 billion years ago in the outer solar system. They contain pristine material from that era. Studying their composition reveals what the early solar system was made of. Spectroscopic analysis shows what gases Atlas releases. Astronomers have detected water vapor, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and cyanogen. The ratios between these molecules indicate where in the solar system the comet formed. Atlas's chemistry suggests formation beyond Neptune's orbit. If Atlas fragments, scientists can study the interior. Normally, we only see a comet's surface. Fragmentation exposes fresh material. This reveals the internal structure. How homogeneous is the nucleus? Are there layers? What holds it together? SOHO and other spacecraft will capture detailed images. These help refine models of comet behavior near the Sun. We still don't fully understand why some comets survive and others don't. Every sun-grazing comet adds to our knowledge. Comet C/2024 G3 Atlas is one of the most interesting comets in years. Discovered in April 2024, it surprised everyone by brightening 600 times faster than expected. Now, it's approaching its closest point to the Sun. On January 13, 2025, Atlas faces its ultimate test, temperatures exceeding 2,500 degrees Celsius. Extreme tidal forces. Intense solar radiation. It might disintegrate completely. It might fragment into pieces. Or it might survive and become one of the brightest comets in decades. Amateur astronomers worldwide are watching. Telescopes are pointed toward the pre-dawn sky. Spacecraft are recording every moment. Whatever happens, we'll capture it. If you want to see Atlas yourself, look southeast about 90 minutes before sunrise in early January. After perihelion, if it survives, check the western sky just after sunset. You might witness something spectacular, a piece of the ancient solar system making its first and possibly last visit to the inner planets. Keep watching the sky. Comet Atlas is writing its story right now.